So if you're out here looking for a webcam for your gaming, your streaming, or your content creation like this, or maybe even just for Zoom calls, presumably, then you may be in the right place if you're not trying to spend $500 to $1,000 on a DSLR camera, maybe even more. Then I might have something here for you. What camera are we talking about? We're talking about the EMEET SmartCam S800 webcam. Well, it says for streaming, but you can use it for YouTube content creation, for your Zoom meetings, as well as for basic video recording. That's right. So if you're in the market for one of these bad boys with 4K HDR, 30 FPS, 1080p, 60 FPS, then this is the package that's for you. And this is the camera right now that is being sold by EMEET. You have a little save, $20 right now, so you go to the website fast enough during the production and release of this video. This is the new next gen webcam according to them. And well, just looking at some of the specs, 4K 30 FPS, not very futuristic, but for $129, we're gonna see what kind of 4K we're getting with this. 1080p 60, awesome sauce for recording your face at 60 frames per second. HDR, you have an image sensor that is by Sony, a 1/2 inch, so they're saying it's relatively big size sensor, so we'll see how that looks when we put it up. AI face autofocus, so we're gonna see how that works with detecting your face and moving it around and how fast it focuses on objects. Dual noise cancellation for both microphones, so we're gonna see what the mic sounds like, the quality. And this right here is essentially what the camera looks like. Nice, looks kind of big on these pictures, but I don't know if it's actually that big. Ooh, cool, nice vents and stuff. 8 megapixel sensor here for your 4K pleasure, and that's 4K with HDR. Now, if you're like me, I've never actually really trusted these photos. You see these little splits. That could just very well be Photoshop magic, and I'm guessing that it is. So we'll see what that actually looks like in real life. High speed lossless transition. So this is coming at 3.0. So that way you can connect it directly to your PC and not suffer frame rate drop or loss. Going through a USB 3.0. Interested to see how that works. Dual focusing technology. So you have something to autofocus on faces, but then if you're doing product demonstrations like me and you want to focus on the product like that, let's see how fast that focus is and how well it works. Adjustable field of view, not bad, going from 40 degrees to 70 degree width, right? Kind of wide there, that little field of view. So we'll see how that works. Green screen removal, AI image noise reduction algorithm ensures better removal with green screen. Now, does the software, yes, it does come with the software, allow you to do a green screen removal, or is it just that it does so much noise reduction and with the algorithm when you do your own personal green screen that it makes it easier for you to clean it up? Rotatable privacy cover. Oh, pretty cool. So you can close the eye of the camera. And of course you have the EMEET software to control your webcam features. Interested to see how that works. I would presume there's probably not that much settings for a webcam, more or less, but we'll see. Strong compatibility. That's right. It's compatible with everything on earth. What? Windows, Mac, Android, YouTube, TikTok. Well, I guess if you're streaming using your webcam, it doesn't really matter what platform you're on. It should be able to detect whatever camera you have connected to a USB. We're going to do an unboxing and see what we get in our box for $129 to $150 right now. Flip the screen. Here we are with the unboxing of the EMEET official 4K webcam. This is their new model, the S800, and pulling it out of the box, off the rip, it feels a little bit heavy here. There's a little bit of weight, like there's a big magnet or a battery in this or something, but okay. Nice solid construction, nice solid build here. Wow, do you have some like ventilation for heat that this 4K camera can potentially generate? So okay, good. And I see the USB-C is right there in the back, which is fantastic. Nice mount here, mounting system for mounting on your monitor, this little rubber piece, and it does in fact rotate on this axis here, and it rotates 360, so you can position it however you like. On the bottom of the mounting mechanism, you have the ability to mount this onto a shoe mount, for example, like on top of your camera or on a boom stand. F1.8 in all of its glory, so we should get some awesome, I guess, bokeh effect more or less with a stop like that. And we have 4x zoom. So, and it looks like the camera eye is closed, and the way you would open that camera eye up is by turning this top knob like that. Wow, it has a nice lizard cat eye effect. And the switch for that is right up top. It's almost like a focus ring on a DSLR camera. And if you look on the front of that, you'll see that there's like a little slice right there at the bottom. That is where your microphone is. There are 2 microphones on here, 2 noise canceling mics. Instructions for your EMEET SmartCam. And if you don't know much about cameras or how to even operate a basic webcam, I would suggest that you go through these instructions. And a relatively long and wow, thick kind of USB cable here. Yeah, it is going from USB-C to USB-A. You're gonna need those 3.0 USB-C speeds for this kind of fidelity. Now, this is not going through a capture card, for example. This is going directly into a 3.0 USB port on your computer. So interested to see how that performs at 4K 30. That's it. We're ready to rock and roll. Let's get this guy connected and see what we're looking at. All right, Techers and Gamers, here we are with our EMEET Cam 4K HDR, face sensing, all of that fancy stuff, dual mic audio. I haven't put on the mic yet. I'm still working off of my personal microphone, but I just wanted you to see what the video looks like. I have it sitting side by side next to my DSLR, and we're gonna do a little side-by-side comparison just so you can see what this looks like. We are side by side, and you can see the color differences here when you're working with the cameras side by side. You see there's a little bit of a green tint, which is fine. You can do some color adjustments for your webcam. I have my settings set up specifically for my DSLR. As you can see, this thing is wide as all outdoors. Now I do have colored lights in here. That's why my room is magenta, some green lights in the back and white in the front. And this is the video quality that you're getting. Now, if I were to silence this camera and you look at my DSLR camera, this is the quality of that camera. So, well, they're 2 different focal lengths, and I'm working with the Canon R50 with a 24mm lens on it. So I get a little bit of a bokeh effect when it's at this range, and kind of has a little bit of a zoom factor being at 24mm anyway. But when I switch over to this camera here, you see how such a wide angle of a camera this is. This camera can be positioned a lot closer than, well, at least with this lens on this camera, but you can position this camera pretty close. So presumably if it's like on a desktop, it would be like on your monitor. So it definitely will be less than arm's length away, but you can put it a little further just to get this super wide look like this. Jumping back over to the website, here is where you're going to download the EMEET Link application for controlling your camera. So let's go ahead and download this for Windows. We're going to download the file because what else are we going to do in life? We'll just open it right from the browser and let it do its little scan check. All right, once you download it, you just run it, whatever language you have that you want to use. These are the languages that are supported. And we just click OK, run it, program files, sure thing. Create desktop icon, okay, that's fine. Install. And we just run through the installer. Let's see how fast or how slow this install is. Looks like it's going pretty fast. Not a big application. Great. And we're just going to launch the EMEET app because why not? Here we are with the webcam application by EMEET. It's called the EMEET Link. And well, this is kind of what you see here. Right now we are on, if I turn it off, you'll just see the camera. And this is the device we are connected to. This is the preview switch, some settings about the firmware, let you know if you are up to the latest and current firmware. You can copy device information, so on and so forth. Use a manual that'll take you to a website online. Awesome sauce. Now let's go ahead and turn on our camera right now. So these are the settings here so that you know it's just camera settings and video settings. And there are general global settings here. You can check for updates. Right now, up to the latest and greatest software. You can check for, you can set it for auto updates, get update notifications, and allow pop-ups, that sort of thing. Notify, no messages yet. You can check your messages here. And then you have some feedback, user manual, compatible device, and it tells you all of the EMEET compatible devices with this software. Fantastic. And personal, well, you can log in, register, and I guess register your device as well. First and foremost, we have some camera settings right off the rip at the top right. So we have some framing grids. So this is for framing your subjects, your objects, and you'll see that it gives you a nice grid to do that. If you're doing the rule of thirds or whichever rule you're using, it has those here for you. So we'll keep that closed. We don't need lines in our shot, but we know what that is. Flip horizontally. You can flip it vertically. And then there's the metering mode. Metering is basically, sorry about the audio because right now we're working with the audio from the webcam and it's a little distance away. It's further than arm's reach. And this is the audio quality, by the way. There is some noise canceling going, so you probably can pick up my audio okay. All right. Metering mode, all right? Spot metering. So this is basically metering based off of what you want to focus on and in relationship to your environment. So if I did spot metering and I put my hand up there, you see it's going to meter the environment based off of my hand. If I switched it to these other metering modes, you'll see how colors and lighting changes up a little bit. And if I focus on my face, well, let's keep it on the face because that's what we're metering at the moment. Focus mode, you can focus on the face or you can focus on a central area. So if I'm doing product, I don't know, reviews and I want to put this up in front of me, it should focus on this particular object and then away, but I like it on my face because what? Auto focusing, we can turn that on or off and we can focus on whatever object we like, control our focus manually. I guess you can do that if you don't want it to change focus in any way. We'll keep that to autofocus to focus on my face. Zoom, right now we are at max zoom, but we can zoom all the way in to 40 degrees, and that's kind of what it looks like. Let's bring it down to about 55, which is kind of cool. You can zoom in and see the liquor in the back I drink. What? Going down further, we have HDR mode now. If you hover over this, you'll see that HDR only works on 3.0 ports. So make sure you're connected to a high-speed port on your computer or whatever device to make sure you get that HDR in effect. You can turn off HDR. Does a quick little turn off. And then this is what HDR off. You can turn it back on. HDR is back on. Okay, it looks a little more blurry with HDR, but maybe that's just the way the software is showing this. Moving right along, anti-flicker, 50 to 60 hertz. You can change that. I keep it on 60 because I like super smooth. If you're doing 1080p, image settings, you can do these manually if you like. There's nothing to reset because this is all automatic, right? Video customization, we'll keep it auto, but you can change it to, these are like settings you see on like a phone, standard, portrait, object, vivid, that sort of thing. So if I wanted to go vivid, it'll kill the saturation colors. So, and portrait, wow, okay, it's doing a lot of weird stuff here. Object, so if you're doing an object, for example, like a remote, I don't know how that helps, but okay, we'll keep it at standard for now. And that's it. And we can restore to defaults, confirm, restore to defaults, and we're back to defaults as it was before we started. So essentially, Techies and Gamers, this is the quality you're going to get with this EMEET 4K webcam with all of its features. Has nice auto focusing features, nice little HDR feature you can turn on and off. It has pretty decent resolution based off of what I'm looking at here. Nice frame rate reproduction. The colors are okay. I mean, comparing this to another webcam, like say a Logitech 930E or something like that, it's definitely going to dominate that camera, especially with the colors that I'm seeing here. They look pretty good. The microphone quality is also better. You also have better focusing and autofocusing, face tracking features, as well as object tracking features. So if you're doing product reviews, product demonstrations, you can do that with this because the focusing on this is really good. See how fast that is? It's probably, once it starts getting a hang of like what you're focusing on, coming in close, you see how fast it just jumps to my face and to an object. Pretty nice and fast. I probably wouldn't use the onboard mic because me personally, I'm really finicky about my audio. But this has nice microphones built in, dual mic noise cancellation features. So pretty good at picking up audio. It's omnidirectional, so it's gonna probably pick up a lot of reverb in my room. But I'm relatively close to the camera. I can touch the camera here, less than arm's length. So pretty decent. I'm interested to see if I added some noise cancellation in OBS, if that sounded any better. Noise suppression, click OK. And this is the audio quality with additional added noise suppression, and that's the mic quality. You can totally get away with this if you're just going to use your camera and not have to have a standalone mic like this. For your meetings, for example, for Zoom, that sort of thing for work, fantastic. You're definitely going to beat your work competition out there with their cameras. Well, unless you're someone like me who just shows up and flexes with a DSLR on Zoom. What? Why? So right here, I've done my own preset adjustments via the EMEET Link app. And I think I kind of got a good color saturation, good contrast, good brightness. I did it and I dialed it in manually versus using the auto features. So even including turning off HDR, I turn off HDR, and I find that with turning that off, I can kind of get a better color reproduction here, and it kind of closely more matches what I'm seeing via the DSLR camera. So you can choose to go auto if you want to be lazy, or you can just dial it in more precisely with your own settings. Right now I've done it with manual settings according to the lights that I have set up now. They look a little bit closer now, but as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and take off these video filters really quickly so you can see what it looks like maximized here. Right? So now I think I have a better white balance for one, according to the lighting situation I have set up. Better skin tone, right? This seems more of my natural skin tone, more or less. And better resolution. Everything just looks a little bit better by dialing it in manually versus HDR and just going auto with everything. So you can get a good image here using your manual setup if you know how to do that. If you don't, just shoot me a message in the comments. I'll definitely help you out with that. I guess the only thing that's a gripe for me is some of the noise that I see a little bit in the background. I'm just so used to my DSLR that any little noise, even iPhone, that's right, iPhone 15 Pro Max introduces some noise, especially when you get a little bit with some kind of lighting like this or low lighting, you'll see some noise get introduced in the background here, right? So just a minor nitpick if you're finicky like me about noise in your shots in the background. You'll see you get some back there even when you focus on my face. Just got to be careful with how you set up your lighting, especially. If I did better lighting here, I would get less noise, but that's just because of my dim, colorful lighting situation I got here, which is my setting, right? It's not particularly anyone else's setting, especially if you're working from home on Zoom, something like that. You're not gonna have this kind of lighting, I hope. Maybe not. I don't know, depends on your job. But most likely your lighting would be white. Thank you, EMEET, for providing this product free of charge. This is, in fact, a paid promotion. And, well, though it's a paid promotion, I'm still giving my honest review here because I just hate having to fake things. It gets under my skin, honestly. Does this device make a pass? Absolutely. The application itself, it's pretty decent. It has my gripes with it. There is no way to actually change resolution settings 4K to 1080p. So I wish there was just more of a visual way to see that. The other thing is that, well, I feel like the HDR is really not as good as what you can get with just non-HDR and customizing your app the way you like through the custom settings. But once you dial it in, it kind of looks good even when you start changing colors of your setting of your room, the lighting conditions. Now the plus is that, well, it looks good. It's not too far off from my DSLR, so fantastic. Wish it had a little bit more depth effect to it, more bokeh. When it's really close, you don't get that much bokeh. So if I put my hand there, you see the background blurs out a little bit, but not so much. And you have to be really close to get that better bokeh. But once I'm just a little bit of a distance away, the background is pretty sharp. That's my spill on this. If you're interested, links are in the description. Get yourself a little discount code, perhaps. I don't know. I'll see if I add a discount code there. They haven't provided me with one, but I'm gonna ask and request one for you guys. Right now, it's already at a discount at 129 bucks. If you're going to be streaming, recording, doing some video content like this, and you need really basic needs for your setup, you're streaming and you just want to have yourself in the corner like that, then this will suffice. This looks pretty good in my eyeballs. All right, TechEasy gamers, and with that, I'll see you in my next life. Well, actually not. I'm living forever. What?